One of the big hits of this television season is a Canadian show called The Raccoons, a weekly animated series that runs on the CBC Monday nights at 7:30. In its third week on the air, The Raccoons had more than 2 million viewers. Now that makes it second only to Hockey Night in Canada on the CBC, and number 9 of all the programs shown in this country, American, Canadian, or anything else. Tonight on the CBC at 7:30, The Christmas Raccoons, the show that started it all 5 years ago.
Unclaw me, you oversized shagrug!
What have we done to you?
Done? Why, you two are ecological disasters.
Yeah.
Oh, forest destroyers!
The Christmas Raccoons got great reviews and high ratings at home and abroad. That special and the 2 others that followed it were sold to 30 countries and already translated into 5 languages.
You ungrateful ingrate!
Based on the success of the specials, Evergreen Productions launched the Raccoon series this fall, financed with Telefilm Canada's Broadcast Fund, the American Disney Channel, and another American company, Embassy Home Video. But the production is all Canadian. The animation is done in Ottawa, the post-production in Montreal, and the music and voices in Toronto. Altogether, about 250 people are involved in the production of the Raccoons.
You don't even know who each other are. Now, here's your mission. These, my secretive stool pigeons, are the conspirators. Study them, but don't be fooled. They're not as dumb as they look.
The shows feature strong characters, plots that don't preach, although they do have a definite message, and some pretty sophisticated music.
Run with us. We've got everything you need. Run with us. We are free.
Not too surprisingly, the success of the show has spawned a whole raccoon industry. Records, videos, t-shirts, running shoes, and of course, stuffed animals.
Run with us.
Joining me now from Ottawa, Kevin Gillis, who is the producer, director, composer, and creator of the Raccoons. God, you must have some kind of brain to have all that happening inside of it.
Actually, it's a very fragmented brain these days.
Well, how did you come up with this idea?
Well, about 10 years ago, Gary Dunford and I were working on a show called Celebrity Cooks with Bruno Gerussi. I was doing the music and Gary was writing the series. And in between turnarounds, we were doing 3 shows a night. We were eating the leftovers and dreaming up crazy ideas, and the Raccoons was one of them.
Yeah, but you know, why animation? Why Raccoons?
Originally, it started out to be a live action, and as it developed over the years, it actually became an animated concept. But
so you mean it could have looked like Hammy Hamster?
Or the Muppets or something like that? Yeah.
Probably works better in cartoon. But it was hard for you to sell this idea to begin with.
Originally, yes, it was a very difficult concept to talk people into because it was hard for people to visualize what the evergreen forest was going to look like, or what Cyril Sneer was going to look like, or how raccoons would go over with an audience in the world stage. But eventually, after a few years, we got it together, and we started with one special, The Christmas Raccoons, and now we're 5 years later, and we're doing a raccoon series. So.
Yeah, but tell me honestly, I mean, you probably thought it was a good idea, obviously, to pursue it as you did, but did you have any idea it would be the commercial success that it is?
I guess in fairness, no. It originally we looked at it as being a one-shot special, and as the demand grew, we grew with it. But you know, we're quite delighted. But I don't think so. You know, from the beginning, I don't think we actually thought that it was going to take off the way it is.
But since it's taken off, have you been able to have time even to analyze what it is that's caught on about the Raccoons?
That's a question actually that I get asked a lot. I think what I think makes the Raccoons is not any one thing, but we pay a great deal of attention to what our audiences tell us, what the broadcasters and distributors around the world tell us. And when we decided to go into series from the specials, we analyzed what worked in the specials, and rather than approaching everything from a shotgun approach like we did in the specials and just spend the money right across the board in the production, we took the research that we had given back to us from our audiences and our broadcasters and enhanced the areas that seemed to work, and that was strong scripts, good storylines, lots of detail and background, the music, the character of the voices. I mean, the people who do the voices, guys like Michael McGee and Len Carlson, have just sunk themselves so deeply into these characters that they just bring them alive. And the animators, who are really actors with pencils, have been motivated from these performances to bring that extra spark of magic to them.
Well, our television columnist did a nice comparison when he did some raccoon footage with some American TV cartoon footage, which was very violent and tough and rough. And I mean, the raccoons were so charming and cooperative and friendly and delightful compared to the violent sort of gonzo hardline tactics of the American stuff.
That's because Cyril Sneer keeps them in line.
Yeah, but it also seems that Kevin Gillis is a nice guy who wants to, you've got kids, you want to communicate, some good values to the children and the families that are watching.
Well, we do believe in trying to bring those life values across. I guess in the end run, there is a responsibility when you're, after all these years, given a good time slot and you're out on the world stage. Don't throw it away. Give something that's going to have meaningful programming, a little bite to it, something that people are going to have to think about after they watch the show and maybe want to keep watching it. So it's a lot of thoughtfulness that goes in from everybody's point of view. It's a terrific team of people, actually.
So what happens now? Do the raccoons get turned into strawberry shortcake and the Smurfs? I mean, are we just going to be barraged with all this jazz now, all this merchandise, running shoes?
Well, actually, what we're doing is it's kind of the reverse of what happens with other animated product, where the characters spawn the television shows. Over the years, as we've been growing, the licensees are now coming to us saying, we'd like to do stuffed animals, or we'd like to do records. We've got records out now, and video cassettes, puzzles, slippers.
Kevin, doesn't it strike
I've got a
you
slipper right here.
Doesn't it strike you as ridiculous?
In some ways, it's a lot of fun, And when I get really out of line, Cyril just strangles me.
Good. Okay, Cyril, don't be too hard on him. Good on you. Good on you, Kevin.
Thank you very much.
Thanks for talking to us.